Omar Berrada isn't the only big steal that Ratcliffe is going to pull off in terms of changing the board in the next couple of months. But Omar Berrada has sent shockwaves through Man City about him leaving and joining United, and Pep Guardiola is particularly triggered. So we're going to dive in to Pep's reaction to that, Manchester City's reaction to that, information on that, and then also Ratcliffe's other future plans. Who else is going to come in? What else is causing a stir at Manchester City, Newcastle, other big clubs? And of course, we're going to get into some transfer news at the end of the video. We've got some 3 striker targets ahead of the summer that Manchester United are looking at in terms of a long-term striker. We're going to get into the latest transfer news on that as well. So do stay tuned to the end if you want to stay up to date with all the transfer news. But let's get into the Omar Berrada situation, Pep Guardiola's comments, the news, INEOS' plan, because there's some big plans coming up that I want to get into. So please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. But Pep Guardiola, there's a clip of him all over Twitter when he was asked in a press conference about Omar Berrada joining Manchester United. And you can tell from Pep's facial expressions, the way he was just kind of looking and expressing himself and his body language, he was triggered. He was rattled. And he made these comments and you could just tell he was not that happy. He said this on Omar Berrada: his knowledge goes to Man United. That's the reality. We learned a lot from Omar Berrada, but he learned a lot from this club and now he's gone to United. But De Bruyne is still here at Manchester City. Haaland will play here, so it's not that simple. Maybe Man United think with that person everything will change. Congratulations, I don't know what happened. And he said it like kind of like, he's gone to United, but we've got De Bruyne, we've got Haaland. That one person's not going to change everything. We still got De Bruyne, we still got Haaland. And you could just tell Pep is rattled. You could just tell if you watch the clip from like his body language and stuff, you could tell he's rattled. And you've got to remember something about Pep. Pep praises Man United a lot in the media. The one thing I like about Pep is he always speaks very positively of Man United in the media. When we were under Ollie, he was saying that, Man United, of course, there's problems. We've lost them a lot. They play good football in the counter-attack. We have to be careful. A good team, praising our players. He even in his recent press conference, when he was asked about City's success, he kind of backed up Ten Hag and said, well, at City, I get to work with Omar Berrada and Hicksy and Ferran and whoever the other people were at City. And he was naming the people he worked with and why that made his job so much easier. Sort of hinting that, Ten Hag doesn't have the same as sticking up for Ten Hag. Pep is very positive and very, very polite when he is asked about United. But the comments, we still got Haaland, we still got De Bruyne, that's not going to change everything. You could just tell that had hit a nerve. He weren't happy about that. They were worried. And obviously information has come out to say, City are worried. The fact that he's left them for United, that has hit City. That's a sore spot. Because he's not just left the club, but he's gone to their rivals. City are in the best ever era. They've just won the treble. You've got to remember this. They've just won the treble, the best ever era. But yet, people are still leaving City for Manchester United. We're still bigger, and that hits a sore spot. It's like when Julia Roberts came to Manchester and only visited United. Pep was not happy, but that is because City isn't a big club, and United is. Pep then did say some nice positive things on him and was very fair. He said he's a lovely person and a credible professional. Yesterday I saw him and I wished him the best because he's a fantastic person, but I don't know if by doing that, snaps fingers, everything will work. Pep said no more Berrada. If he's not happy here and he wants to go, he has to leave. What can we do? There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. If Man United, if we want a Man United player and if United agree to sell him and if the player wants to come, why wouldn't we? Which is true. At the end of the day, if you have a player that doesn't want to be here, at the end of the day, and the rivals come with a big offer and he wants to go to rivals and doesn't want to be here, as much as you don't want to sell to rivals, why would you want someone still at the club that wants to go to rivals to an extent as well? But you can just tell that it definitely hit a sore spot because this was sort of the last thing that he said. He said, if it does happen, Man United becoming immediately successful, then oh my God, you have to make a stand for Omar Berrada in the future because he deserves it. And look, I think Omar Berrada is a massive appointment, 100%, but I don't think it's going to mean that Man United are going to come immediately successful because obviously there is a lot of work to do. But why is this a big move? Why has this rattled City? Because it's been said INEOS, as Manchester United plan, is to get a committee on par with Manchester City in place after going in place before going to suitable signings for the squad in the summer when Omar Berrada starts. And it's sort of been said by Pete Hall that Omar Berrada isn't the end. That is not the end. Man United want a Dan Ashworth. They want a Paul Mitchell. They want to get their committee on par better than Manchester City's before even Omar Berrada starts. A source that does a lot of Barcelona reporting said on Omar Berrada joining United that it is a massive blow for City. He was a top man. He was really trusted at City. it had a feeling that they were almost like a family in some way, so take him out of City and bring him to United, and that is a massive, massive move. And the Athletic said that Omar has been at City even before Ferran Soriano and Tixi Bergenstein landed there. But if before yesterday, when this came out like last week, if you'd asked who would be the replacement or who would be landed to replace them, they would have said Berrada. And that is just so how highly rated he is at Manchester City as well. I do apologise that the lighting isn't coming out the best. I don't know why it's so dark. So dark. The lighting in here is absolutely horrific. I didn't bring my little lamp, so I do apologise about that because that is kind of bugging me as well. But continuing on, what else have other journalists and sources said? Sam Lee, who's one of City's most reliable journalists, and Omar Berrada leaving, that this is a big loss for City and a huge shock, of course. I think everyone assumed that he'd replace Tixi one day. He was someone that Man City would want working on their board and did work on their board. That just explains how highly rated he is, because Manchester City don't want crap working for them like United have in the past. And it was said by The Athletic that a senior figure at a Premier League club described Manchester United's appointment of Omar Berrada as the first genuine elite move the United have made in a decade. Another industry source believes it could be the best signing since teenage Ronaldo. So people behind the scenes, when they saw that, they're like, nah, they're serious. People were getting worried. They're like, okay. And it was also said that Manchester United's approach to appointing Omar Berrada was so discreet that senior figures at United did not know about it until learning the story was about to be broken on Saturday afternoon, after which an emergency leadership meeting was announced. And that is massive. And I think this was the biggest thing for me about the Omar Berrada appointment. Is as big as the appointment was, it was the fact that it was out of nowhere. That was the biggest statement for me. It wasn't like we'd been linked to him for months and months and months, and we're like, when's it going to happen? Is it going to happen? It just happened like that, and it was done. It wasn't about leaking, making media stories. It was boom, boom, done. And that is why I think that signing was just amazing for me, because we actually got stuff done without a media frenzy. But what's even more exciting is Omar Berrada is not going to be the only big move. He is the CEO. United are pushing for Dan Ashworth. That could be an even bigger steal because he's only recently come to Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, that started their project. Newcastle, the richest club in the world. Players are going to be given 1-2 years to perform, or they're going to leave. Remember that. INEOS are also involved in business and commercial decisions, and football over commercial operations. It's not the only big move. Dan Ashworth could come in, Paul Mitchell could come in. Players are going to be moved on after 2 years, reportedly. INEOS have got more power. They're going to have a say on business and commercial operations as well. But the focus being football success over commercial success, because at the end of the day, the two are linked. And if you look at the Manchester United structure and the potential structure, you've got sort of Brailsford, Blanc and Omar Berrada in under Jim Ratcliffe, but there could be Dan Ashworth and Paul Mitchell in under that, and then Ten Hag. It's not going to stop with Omar Berrada. The potential future structure of Manchester United, I think, is really, really promising, and that could be massive. It's not just Omar Berrada, but it could be this whole structure of proper footballing people. And it's not that Man United have just got a footballing structure, which is something they've needed to do for 10 years. They've got a footballing structure of the most elite people. It's not just a footballing structure of people that know football, that aren't bankers and accountants, that aren't friends with Woodward. That's good. But when you're getting these people, this is great. And these people obviously have a say over what happens with transfers and Manchester United's transfer plans. So I do want to get into the latest on transfers. I'm obviously kind of leaving transfers to the end of this video because I kind of feel like it's kind of irrelevant at this point, transfers. It's Choupo-Moting or nothing in January, and then the plans in the summer, there's links, but I feel like other than Tolibo, you still can't take a lot of links seriously. But it was said by Pletico that Manchester United are keen on signing Bulgarian striker Joshua Zirkzee in the summer transfer window, following the Italian side making it clear he's not for sale in January. His release clause is 40 million euros. Benjamin Seska also has a 40 million euro release clause. So, or 40 million pounds, it might be like 50 million euros, something like that. I think it's 42 million pounds. I think those two players will definitely be looked at by United, because I don't think they want to spend more than 40, 50 million on a striker because they brought in Højlund, but they'll want someone else to support Højlund because obviously Martial will leave. We've also been linked with Brian Brobby of Ajax. I'm assuming when the INEOS come in, they will probably look at these players, look at a few other players and refine maybe 1 or 2 targets that best fit the 40 million budget. Probably someone a bit more experienced. I do like Zirkzee. I would take him over Brobby. I think Sesko has the highest ceiling, but I think Zirkzee looks better right now because he's not been particularly moving at RB Leipzig. It was also said by Laurie Whitworth that United are monitoring Ivan Toney's return, so maybe they could make a shot move for Ivan Toney, but I don't think they will go big for a striker because I think there's those at the club do generally rate Rasmus Højlund and do think that Rasmus Højlund will reach the top. So I don't think Man United are going to go all out and bring in some massive name as striker. I think it will be someone in that 40 million budget. I'd look at Jimenez over in the Eredivisie, scoring mass goals, to be honest, as well. I'm a big fan of Scamacca as well, even though he didn't work out at West Ham. But yeah, anyway, that is all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, takeover news, insights and information for you guys. Please do hit the like button on the way out, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.